Hi, welcome back to those who survived. So all three of you, thank you. So who got the Passat in the end? Nobody? Oh, come on. It's a German car. It must be good. Anyway. Presentation number 2, how not to suck at pinball. This is a recap of also the same presentation I did a couple of years ago, but with new added stuff. And it's basically one I redid for an assembly demo party in Helsinki last year. And I threw out all the Finnish commercials and put some German commercials in there, so now it looks up to date. So, it's still me, I'm still Peter, I still run this and I still play that. Come to revision and listen to scene set. And well, it's 111 slides in this presentation, so let's go. So this is, first of all, you will be educated to learn you some stuff. First of all, flipper versus pinball. It's in Dutch, in German it's flipper, in English it's pinball. Why? Because pinball machines only came here in the early 50s, and then they had flippers, while in the US they've been around since the 1930s, where they were blocks of metal pins, and that's why it's called pinball. So, well, that's what this says over here. Blah, blah, blah. Good, time machines. So this is more or less where it starts. It's a French game called a bagatelle. It's a wooden board, and you shoot up little balls with a stick, and whoever hits the bell wins something, I guess. Later versions also have a spring mechanism. So when you get to the 1930s, I'm going to move this thing out of the way. Hang on.
This is a warning sign, that's put there.
Well, if it's a warning sign, I'll just give it here to you, so it's important.
And it says no drinking. Hey!
What? Sorry, I don't speak German. So, this is Riffle board from 1931, and this is pinball start. Why? Because it was the first one when you had to put in a coin, you would get number of balls, and you would shoot them up into the board and into those little holes that you see, and in the end you count up your score to find out how cool you were, or drunk. Which would allow cheating, because you could just take the table and move it around until you have a large, nice score, so you could get your absolutely not illegal speakeasy beer in the 1920s and 30s. So there was initial tilt mechanism was invented by Harry Williams, the same Williams guy from the Williams pinball machines. He's that old and that long around. And it was a little ball on a metal plate. And that was your first tilt mechanism, which didn't really work that well. So it was improved to what we still use today. So the tilt mechanism you have in, say, your latest AC/DC or whatever, naturally from Stern, the latest. What's the latest? The Walking Dead is the same tilt mechanism that they used for in 1935. It's why isn't it changed? Because, well, it works. The pop bumpers, so the little mushrooms which kick the ball around, they existed from 1936. These are still passive. It's just a stick on a spring which will move the ball around a bit. And then for the flippers, we get to 1947. One thing here is that the flippers are a bit all about the board, as if you can see it on the screen. About halfway you have 4 red ones. They're not inside, they're pointing outside, and they will move all at the same time. But this was new because suddenly you could put the ball back up into the playing field. The first inward pointing flippers are about 3-4 years later, with a spot bowler, which was the first one which put the flippers down in the middle where we are used to having them today. And the active pop bumpers, so the ones which actually kick back, also designed by Harry Williams, they are from 1948. See, Drop Targets 1962, and Yay Electronics 1977. There were some games produced mechanically, like these ones over here, and electronically for testing. The first widely available was Belly's Freedom. And then we get, well, about 15 years later, we get dot matrix games. Terminator 2 was first. Data East followed with the smaller screens. Later they used bigger ones as well. And then we have the Pinball 2000s in the late 90s, where they made like 1.5 pinball. And then we have the LCDs with Wizard of Oz and the entire LED pinballs, and also the latest spike system from Stern Pinball, which goes away with all the complicated cables and uses a bus architecture to connect all to like a small different PCBs together. Other firsts, Multiballs 56. The 3D flippers, the big flippers, are from the 1970s. Your kickback and up kicker is 1980s. Your wizard mode is 1989. So these are the rest of the firsts.
What is the wizard mode?
Wizard mode is like the end game, the final boss battle. So let's say on Black Knight 2000, you have. You have a display where you can, I don't know, it's the ransom. You have between you have ransom, and when you have no, it's not last chance. The ransom is the wizard mode because, and I have one at home, so I know this. When you have the rollovers on top for the bonus multiplier for a set time, usually 20 seconds, if you then get the ball into the ball lock, you will advance one letter in ransom. If you have ransom complete, you have everything lit. You will get for a time period unlimited balls. You will get the ball back when you lose it. Your jackpot is lit. Your million is lit. Your extra ball is lit. Your bonus multipliers are at maximum, and you get nice new music and video to go with it.
I have one.
So.
I never heard wizard mode.
No, yeah, it's a wizard mode because only pinball wizards get the wizard mode. So, back where we were, some naming conventions. We have outlanes, inlanes, slingshots, drains, flippers, lane guides, and really sucky pictures. And also, of course, you need to read the rules of a pinball machine. Normally, I don't know the games here, you will have a little manual in the lower left corner which will indicate, okay, you can score points here and there. And that's the way how to go forward and get the most points in the game up to your free game and your high scores. And when you do that, there is some things you don't have to do at all, which is the duo flip, which is practically just pushing the two flipper buttons together like a penguin and getting nowhere. This is the first skill you need to lose. Secondly, you must always do something. Don't wait for the ball to just fall down and roll down a place you don't want it. You can always influence the ball. So, with the skills, I'm using the example for the Addams family. I see that you have one, but it's without a playfield. So you're going to have to use your imagination a bit. And I use Addams family because it's the most sold pinball machine. If somebody walks up to you and say, "Oh yes, I played pinball when I was a kid," and you ask them which one, they say, "I don't know." Or is it the one with the hand that takes the ball? Addams family. Oh yes, is this one? So there you go, Addams family. Essentials. First of all, you have to be able to stop the ball. When you can stop the ball in a cradle, it will give you 1 second, 5 seconds, 10 seconds, half a minute. Find somebody to hold the flipper and take a pissing break. It's all possible. The game will just wait for you to continue as long as you keep the flipper button pressed. This will also slow down the ball, and it will stop the ball, and you can from there on go to the next skill, which is handy, and that's aiming. The ball, if it's further up the flipper, it will go more to one direction. When it goes further down, go one to the other. Also, speed is important. A a faster traveling ball will go at a different point into another direction. So again, if you stop a ball into a cradle to 0 speed, it should more or less always behave the same. Meaning on an Adams family, if you cradle the ball on the left flipper, you have 4 shots, 5 actually, to choose from. You can go into the chair, up the ramp, you can go for the bookcase, or you can shoot the ball into the swamp. And from a ball which is from 0 speed, you can actually get this aiming pretty accurate. The up push is a skill that's handy when the ball is in between the slingshots. If you push the ball up, when it hits the rubber, it will make it a slower contact, so the ball will slow down, and it will be better to control it. So for some low-risk skills, now is the bounce pass. It's not doing nothing, but it's close to it, meaning that when the ball comes down to your flipper and it hits it, don't flip up, giving a small push, and it should bounce to the other side or of the playfield or something where you can control it. When you look at it in an Adams family, it means when you get your ball out of the chair, with a little push, it will go onto the right flipper, and there you can cradle it to a stop and go for your next shot without any stress. If you want to do a roll pass, you use the speed from the ball, which will roll over the flipper, over the out lane, and then go to the other side where it comes to a stop, or at least can be controlled a bit more. If the speed is too low, you can go for a tip pass, which is dropping the flipper just a little bit, giving it a small push to the ball, so it will continue its travel to the other side. On an Adams family, you can do this when the ball returns from the ramp. You push up the right flipper, and the ball will flow over Uncle Fester's head onto the left flipper, where you can then cradle it for your next shot. If the ball is at the wrong side, you can go for a post pass. It's you cradle the ball again, it stops. You drop the flipper and immediately you flip up again, and the ball will bounce at the rubber post to the other side at quite a manageable speed, where you can then again control it. But still, there is timing involved. So there are other ways of stopping a ball, which is, first of all, is the live catch, meaning the ball will come down to your flipper. At the same time, you raise your flipper, and it's hard to explain, but when at the exact point where the flipper and your ball meet, the up and the down momentum will cancel each other out, and your ball will stop and roll down the flipper, and you can cradle it. On Adams family, this is good for the swamp kickout. If you lift the right flipper at the correct time, the ball will just slowly roll down into a cradle, and you can continue. The drop stop is the opposite. It's you hold the flipper up. When the ball hits it, you drop it, and it will kind of slowly roll down the flipper, but you don't have much time to react. And when everything goes wrong and you need to save, you use a slap save, meaning you lift one flipper a bit before the other. Flipper number 1 will change the path of the ball. Flipper number 2 will just kick it up somewhere. You are not aiming, you're just saving the ball, and you really have to hope that nothing goes wrong. Should the ball go to the side of the pinball machine, to the out lane, you can push the pinball machine, the side lane, if there is a rubber, it's even better, into the ball, and it will bounce back onto the lower play field, where you can try to control it again. And if you have a pinball machine with a little rubber thingy between the flippers, you can do nothing at all, and the ball will come down from a ramp or wherever. I think on Attack from Mars has one, and some others. Terminator, I was looking for Fishtails. And there you can try to save the ball. Of course, when you do this on an Adams family, you have a problem, because it has no rubber thingy over there. So you will lose the ball. So don't do this on an Adams family. So combine this. So here we go. The ball comes out of the swamp. You do a live catch. You aim the ball up the ramp. It will come down through the in lane where you can do a roll pass. And you aim with a backhand into the chair to start your next mention, because going over the ramp will activate your next mention shot on an Adams family. So, and with that, and you know where the rule set is, well, it's over here in the corner. You can find out what to do. On Adams family, you can play two types of games. Either you go for the multi-balls on the bookcase and the vault. First multi-ball is okayish. Second multi-ball will give you the triple and the super jackpot, which is, if you imagine how the hell do people get 500 million scores on Adams family, the super jackpot is 3, 4, 5 times the jackpot level at 20 million. This can add up really, really hard. Or you can go for dimensions, which are all the windows, all the rooms in the house, and then with dimension, you have the question mark at the top. When you have every mention complete, you can have the tour dimension, which is the wizard mode in Adams family. This will activate each mention room simultaneously with 3 or 4 at the same time running. So, and for that mention, you need to know what's going on. So when a window is off, there's nothing there. When it's blinking, it means this one is this is the next one that you will play. And when it's on, it says it's active, or you've been playing this one for now. So when you have that down, most games have a skill shot. Not all of them. The easiest one are at the rollovers. You can have advanced skill shots for the later Williams Bellies, I think from, say, an Attack from Mars or a Medieval Madness, when you keep a flipper button pushed in and you launch the ball, normally the ball will stop at the top of the playfield and you can go into the bumpers. If you keep a flipper button pushed, the ball will go around to your left flipper and you can try to make a shot for a bigger skill shot. On Adams family, this is, I think, pretty well known. It's in the ting box, where then a ting will pick up the ball and drop it, and you can get it from the swamp. And there are some other fun stuffs in the game as well. So for Adams family, you have underneath the score display, you have the ting display, a bit like the ransom display on a Black Knight. And every time you go up a ramp, you will lit a letter in ting. If you can do it, if you have a shot through the bumpers and then up the left ramp, you will get a star. Getting a ting complete, the ting lock will come on and give you a point. If you have stars, you will get extra points for that. Also good to know, Adams family is the swamp. There is a small flipper on the left. If you can get into the swamp from that flipper, you will get 5 times the graveyard value, which is minimum 5 million. And there are some hidden rewards as well. First of all, there is a combo shot in Adams family. It's a 3-way or 4-way combo depending on how far you get. For the 4-way combo, you go up the ramp, you shoot the ball then through the bumpers, up the left ramp, and into the swamp. That's your 4-way combo on Adams family. If you can master this sequence, you get a pretty good reward. So when we go on for a bit, what you just saw with this combo was something that pinball players call flow. And if you look at what the internet says are the best games in the world, you get to the pinball database, and when you look at that listing, you will see games which have a high amount of flow in them. So if you look at a Star Trek, these are the possible shots just from the flippers. The ball will quite often just come down to the flippers, and you can take your next shot. Same for Theater of Magic. Same for Monster Bash. Same for Medieval Madness. Everything concentrates from the flippers. The ball is always brought nicely down back to the flippers where you can take your next shot. But we were talking about hidden awards, and I think the best one in Adam's Family is the dirty pool, because it is possible to get the ball into the bookcase when the bookcase is closed. This will award you a dirty pool award, because they found it out during playtesting, and they just do something with it, and it stuck, because in Attack from Mars you also have a dirty pool award, that if you during multi-ball you succeed to get a ball trapped behind the elevator of the targets, and you can shoot it into the saucer, you will get a dirty pool as well, and you get a free saucer destruction, which will advance your cities conquered. Same in the Indiana Jones pinball adventure. You can, if you have a dirty pool when you get the ball into the lock with all the drop targets still up.
You are cheating indeed. You are cheating indeed.
Yep, that one. There is actually a special plastic post in there to make the shot possible, so it's there. More Easter eggs. Many pinball machines from Williams in the mid-90s have something called midnight multiball. That means if the clock of your pinball machine hits midnight more or less, all the lights will go out. You will have a clock banging, and you will have a special multiball only at midnight. You have mini games, birthday wishes, and Williams has a thing with cows that they put cow design somewhere in their games. There's an entire listing of it, etc.
There's poker as well in STTNG.
Yeah.
With Riker poker.
Yeah.
And what was the other one?
There is a mini breakout game.
Where?
In TNG.
I had one. Where is it?
I don't know. Somewhere. Use the dollar search engine and go for it. Yeah, you can do it. You also have some sneaky locks. And in Voltaire, you can have the ball go up the ramp, but not completely, and it will drop down and give you a lock. Same in Theater of Magic, where you can, with a very bad shot, get the ball behind the trunk and then start your lock sequence. You can also, with a Black Knight, you can do this as well, because in a multiplayer game. Because if player 1 already locked 2 balls and you can lock ball number 3, you will get the multi-ball. Not much can be done against it, you just have to live with it. On more modern games, they will compensate in software, and if you have it on Adam's Family, just drop the ball into the swamp and you will automatically relock the balls, get the points again, which is maybe a nicely added bonus that you can get. Also, we said aiming. Well, how about not aiming for stuff? For instance, you have Funhouse. It's impossible to go into the mirror from the left flipper. However, if you shoot I think it's the hot dog targets, then if you shoot those targets, the ball will 9 out of 10 go into the mirror anyway from the left flipper. And a warning as well, because sometimes you don't have to shoot for stuff, which is also really important. Dangerous on Adam's Family is with the right flipper, you go for the chair, because if you miss and hit the rubber posts, you have a very high chance that your ball will just drain and you will lose it. A better way is to backhand it from the left flipper, because it's a much less powerful shot, much slower, and if something goes wrong, you have more chance to recover the ball. Same goes for Whitewater. the small green targets that you need to shoot to get the ball to activate will 9 out of 10 cause the ball to drain because they fly back. So the trick is to just hit them a bit on the side with the ball so that they activate, but the ball flies through into the ball lock. And now for something which normal people don't really like, which I give purely for informational purposes. So many people don't like this. Watch out what you do. This can get you kicked out of game rooms and events and bars and competitions if you use these tricks. Well, these methods. So the first of all is the bang back. Is when your ball is in an out lane and it touches the metal of the apron, the metal sheet in front of it. If you kick the machine really hard, the ball can fly up again. The thing is that some games actually give you points for this. I think it was Data East, Wacky and Bullwinkle. If you have an out lane switch and then you hit another switch back on the playfield when you have performed a bang back, the game will reward you like 50 points or something. Like, well done, you cheated. So, and then as we mentioned, your Zen maneuver doing nothing on Adam's Family, you can actually slide the entire machine underneath the ball. So when the balls come down with high speed, you take the pinball machine and you slide it left or right onto the flipper. It will move about 10-20 centimeters. And if you do it quickly enough, you will not get a tilt because the momentum will cancel. The tilt mechanism will not have enough time to react. It will just move along. I named this for Vincent Chardon, who is one of the Belgian players who does this all the time on his machine at home. So we call this a Chardonneke, for instance. But anyway, when playing pinball, and I've seen the signs here as well, so keep these in mind, what to do and what not to do. And that's the end of this, of Not to Suck at Pinball. Any further questions on this? Oh, this is good. Excellent. Okay, well, those who are afraid to ask can now ask me over there.